It's American Flag Football on NFL Network, presented by LG. The halftime show in our amateur division semifinal. A big win for Fighting Cancer as they take out Primetime, and they do it in impressive fashion. 35-14 the final score. They scored 28 unanswered points. And Darrell Doucette, 4 touchdown passes. Primetime with 2 turnovers in this football game, and Fighting Cancer takes over and were dominant in the second half. They've lost only 1 game in the last 5 years, and you saw why tonight. Here's tonight's play of the game presented by LG, and it came at the end of the first half with Primetime up 14-7 and the clock ticking down. They just get the snap off, and Doucette to Carmouche for the touchdown. They'd get the extra point, and they went into the locker room tied at 14, and then they would come out and completely buzzsaw Primetime in the second half. All right, our semifinal in the Pro Division, Ochocinco and his squad taking on Michael Vick and the Roadrunners. And Dan Orlovsky, you played quarterback in the NFL for 12 years. Michael Vick, a 4-time Pro Bowler, #1 overall pick by the Atlanta Falcons, back in Atlanta. And if there was ever a game designed for Michael Vick, it's 7-on-7 football.
Bob, he told us yesterday he thinks he's custom made to play quarterback in the flag football setting, saying the defense now has to cover. I get to drop back with no rush. I'm going to pick you apart. And then if you do blitz me, I'm still fast enough to run away from you, and I can make throws on the run better than anybody else. But this team is loaded on defense. They've got some guys that were Pro Bowlers in the NFL, mainly in their secondary. Nick Collins being a safety for the Green Bay Packers, one of their premier safeties in the NFL. The big corner, Brandon Browner out of the Seattle Seahawks, the Legion of Doom, and then longtime Tennessee Titans safety, Michael Griffin. They think that that defense is going to be a real strength of theirs today. Michael Vick will be the key. He's going to be the bloodline for this offense, but those secondary guys are going to be huge for this Roadrunners offense and Roadrunners football team.
Yeah, you know, in talking with Michael Vick earlier in the week, you know, he was saying that, you know, as much as this game is about offense, you have to have defensive players, and that's what they have. He made sure that his team has really good defensive players, guys that can get man press, understand zone concepts, understand how to play fast. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle that defensively. Now, those secondary guys like Brandon Browner, Nick Collins, you mentioned him. You talked about what they have as weapons, Michael Griffin. They're going to have to deal with a guy that made 6 Pro Bowls in the NFL, Chad Ochocinco, who can still play receiver.
We were watching him yesterday, and he's still impressive athletically. I remember playing him a bunch and just appreciating just the suddenness of his routes, the precision that he would have in his route running, and then watching him and Carson Palmer press the ball downfield vertically with his vertical speed, or throw some of those big 20-yard in routes, the suddenness of the out routes that he would run at. It was really just a work of art. This team's got 2 quarterbacks, Gerard Johnson and Dennis Dixon. They're going to use them in a very unique way. They're going to put them kind of split the center, almost like a wishbone formation. And what they think that that's going to do to the defense is just get that defender to hesitate just a second, and they're going to make that defender run the hump, they called it. They believe that that extra second is going to give those quarterbacks an opportunity to push the ball downfield to all the receivers, including Ochocinco.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting where Michael Vick is kind of the one-man show at quarterback for his team. The 2 quarterbacks with both guys in the backfield at the same time, trying to negate the pass rush, get that go clock turned off. How will they utilize that to offset the defense? It's going to be fun to watch unfold. Ocho's talked a lot. Michael Vick's keeping quiet. The pros take center stage next. Michael Vick running out onto the field. 4-time Pro Bowler in the National Football League, the 2010 NFL Comeback Player of the Year in 2006. 1,039 yards rushing in a single season. For his career, he averaged 7 yards per carry. Michael Vick's Roadrunners taking on Ochocinco's squad. They're both with Kay Adams.
The crowd is going wild, no need for introductions. Here, let's start with Michael Vick back in Atlanta. Sold out crowd on a football field. How does it feel to be out here tonight?
It's always great to be back home. You know, Atlanta I consider my second home, and you know, on behalf of myself and all the guys, we've just had a great weekend.
You're wearing the Chad chain, but your team is Ocho. A lot of stars, some Super Bowl winner. What are you bringing to the field tonight?
Just have fun. Have fun. Everything else will take care of itself. We put in the work. We just go out here and do what we do, what we know how to do best.
Now, I heard a rumor, Michael Vick, that you might be playing some defense up against this guy. Is that true? Can we see that tonight?
Yeah, only if Chad challenged me to come out in the fourth quarter.
Go on.
Child, please.
Child, please, he says. Let's go!
Little flag, a little trash talking. You know, listen, we had fun visiting with Ochocinco yesterday during our production meeting. And he is not lacking in any confidence, Dan.
It's gonna. We could just put those two guys on the field tonight, and it would be pure entertainment.
It'll be interesting to see how Michael Vick's squad. They were a little concerned if they had enough weapons on offense. They're loaded up on defense, but both teams told us that, hey, look, it's about getting stops.
Yeah, they made it a point to say the flag pull is a big deal to them, and they're respecting it. The biggest thing they said, both teams want to do a good job of keeping the ball and players in front of them.
Nick Tintle will handle the throw off. Oh, no, he won't. He's going to give it to Michael Griffin, three-time Pro Bowler with the Tennessee Titans. The flagpole will be interesting to watch how the pros do it. Ochocinco squad out on offense first. 7-on-7, 12-player roster, 2 30-minute halves, running clock until the final 2 minutes. Field divided in 4 25-yard boxes with first downs awarded when the offense reaches the next box. No blocking, kicking, or fumbles. Now, Dan, we know that, look, these guys have played on a much higher level than the guys that we just saw play. But it's the subtleties. It's the understanding about the flagpole, the nuances of the game. It'll be interesting to see how the pros deal with it. Gerard Johnson, Dennis Dixon, the quarterbacks. Pressure. And they get the pass off and they get a completion right out of the gate. Jeremy Ross on the catch. The go clock. Once the ball is snapped in 2 seconds, you can start to put pressure on the quarterback. The pass must be off. Boom, in 4 seconds. If not, the play is dead.
That's going to be something I think we need to pay attention to, because as quarterbacks, these guys played in the NFL. The internal pressure, the bodies tell you to get the ball out. Now, it's just going to be a sound that's got to tell these quarterbacks.
Johnson gets the pass out. Fred Jackson on the reception. Fred Jackson, of course, star with the Buffalo Bills. 2009, led the NFL in all-purpose yards. He had 1,000 yards rushing and over 1,000 yards in kickoff returns.
And this is something that is going to be a huge deal for the pro teams. We just saw Fred Jackson, a little bit of a flag guard. That's going to take it from 3rd down to 4th down for this Ocho offense. But they've told us we're used to just a stiff arm when a defender's coming our way. That's going to be something they're going to have to break very quickly.
Hey, go cover, go cover, go cover, go cover.
It'll be interesting to see when we get to the championship match when the pro guys have 2 games of flag under their belt. But right now you can see that the flag pull is an issue. Johnson is going to effectively punt the ball on 4th down, and he throws it into the back of the end zone for a touchback. So Michael Vick and the offense will come on the field. And you can just see on that first series, compared to what we just saw with the guys that play flag regularly, that these guys are a little tentative right now with the rules.
And the flag guys, the guys who play in the flag leagues, that's the reason they're so confident, because the people at home might think it's a little deal, but it's the fundamental basis of flag, and that's going to be it. Fred Jackson's been stiff-arming defenders for 25 years. He now has to break that for the next 2 weeks.
Michael Vick's got Bernard Pierce in the backfield with him. Tries to throw it underneath to Sergio Berkovich, a midfielder in lacrosse at Notre Dame who plays professional lacrosse for the Boston Cannons.
And Perkovich is a guy that the Roadrunners raved about us yesterday with his hands. He's got to make that catch. We're seeing a little bit of nerves from both teams. Michael Vick said yesterday, I want to feel my way into this.
Each of the pro teams has to have 2 non NFL players. And Vick goes back across the field, and what a catch there by Jared Boykin. That's the one thing that we saw, that there's not one guy on the amateur teams that can make a throw like this.
Can't do it. I mean, he's running full speed basically to the sideline, and just that beautiful, notorious flick of the wrist from Mike Vick gets the completion to Boykin.
Boykin played with Jacksonville, Green Bay, was with Carolina and Buffalo as well. Vick zips it to Boykin again. Ochocinco on the coverage, and he's short of the first down. So 4th and less than 1. You cannot just run a handoff straight up the line. The handoff has to occur parallel to the line. Vick with an easy toss for the first down. And again, there's the flag issues as Evan Rodriguez makes the catch. Check in with Kay Adams down on the sideline.
Evan Rodriguez has that connection with Michael Vick, and Bucky Brooks is loving it watching flag football on NFL Network. Not gonna lie, it's pretty entertaining to watch. As a former flag football coach for kids, I'm digging the blitzes and other rules that they added to enhance the game. Cannot wait to see the pros do their thing. Michael Vick, also a coach. He coaches his daughter's flag football team, guys.
Well, right now they got to get the knack of the flagpole. Vick just easily guides that to Boykin for another catch. Fred Jackson on the flagpole.
Michael Vick grew up in the West Coast offense, if we want to call it for our fans at home, and you're seeing a lot of that implemented. Drags, crosses, flooding zones. It's actually a really important part of the flag game as well.
Vick completes it.
Hey, hold on.
Ochocinco on the coverage.
Ochocinco doing a nice job. He's playing a cover 2 corner right there, just responsible for that flat area short. Did a nice job of making Vick hold the ball a little bit longer, take that underneath throw, and he's there for the flagpole.
Hey, take off motion right.
3rd and 4 for Vick.
Hey, watch the blitz. Hey. Here we go. Go.
Oh, he's too high in his stance. Full start. Off back. Previous spot. 4th down to the 25-yard line.
So you lose the down.
And that's a big difference again for these NFL guys. On Sundays, it now becomes 3rd and 9 for them. And you think, okay, you don't want that situation, but you still have 2 opportunities to go get a first down. Now it's down to one play. So it's a much different game for them. They need to realize the impact of penalties.
Hey, Chad, we're here.
Go.
4th and 4.
Come on, Griff.
Vick gets it to Griffin, but the flag gets pulled before he gets the first down. Clayton Parros, the track star from North Carolina, closed on the coverage.
And I think we're going to see both of these teams really just figure out this game as they go along, ease their way into it, not make any big mistakes, figure out what they do well, what they don't do well.
So both teams with a possession, both teams failing to score.
All right. No. Snap one more time. Snap one more time. Snap one more time. All right. Hurry up. Yeah. Line up right there. Line up right there. Run around, Dennis. Line up right there. Run around. Here we go. Timeout, White. All right, let's bring it in. They call timeout.
The Roadrunners call a timeout as they were trying to get set on defense. Let's check in with Kay.
Chad Ochocinco on the field and his daughter on the bench cheering him on. He did the same thing for her a little bit earlier. Shael actually ran the 400 meters, came in 1st place. He was so proud of her. He said waiting on her to run the 400. She got the gold. We'll see if the Ochocinco family will celebrate more tonight, guys.
Yes, Shael at 13 years of age is the defending junior Olympic champion in the 400, 800, and 1500 meters.
I'm actually going to challenge her to a race, and if I win, Ochocinco's got to buy me McDonald's.
Ocho lives on the McDonald's diet. A run on first down to Marvin Bracey. who played football at Florida State but left for track, made it to the semifinals in the 2016 Olympics in the 100 meters.
This is an impressive chase down right here by the lacrosse gear, Bintel and Mike Griffin. We talked about in pregame, a big-time safety for the Tennessee Titans. We're seeing a little bit of formation use by this Roadrunner team as well.
Dixon on the run. Aaron Rouse, who played a long time in the National Football League, pulls the flag. Dennis Dixon, 5th round pick of the Steelers in 2008. Won a Super Bowl with the Ravens in 2012. And part of the Steelers team that beat the Arizona Cardinals in Super Bowl 43.
That makes sense? You only got to get to the 50.
Seeing a little bit more formation use by these pro teams. You're going to see both those receivers 2x2, cut, split, stacked in, trying to get some better releases in man situations.
Dixon on the run again. And the flag gets pulled, but he's got the first down.
And Dennis Dixon was a guy that basically had the Heisman locked up at the University of Oregon before that knee injury. Obviously a talent. We talked about it, them using those 2 quarterbacks pregame to confuse the defense a little bit.
You know, the other interesting thing is all these guys are used to studying film on their opponent, and the pros this weekend are playing blind. They don't have any tape on the teams that they're playing.
Yeah, and Ocho team yesterday told us, to be honest with you, we don't even know what we're good at. And so we've got to figure our way through this a little bit. I think you're seeing that.
Johnson going deep, and he's got the touchdown. Jeremy Ross with the touchdown catch, and Ochocinco squad up 6-0.
There we go. There we go.
Gerard Johnson showing off his big arm talent, sitting back in the pocket, sees that free safety, just stay a little bit low, put the ball up over the top to Jeremy Ross, a guy that I played with that has had a really nice career in the NFL.
Undrafted free agent with the Patriots in 2011, spent time with Indianapolis, Green Bay, Detroit, Baltimore, the Jets, and Arizona.
And our Virginia Tech Hokie, Aaron Rouse, got a little nosy there at safety. Gerard Johnson made him pay for it.
They'll go for the 1-point conversion. Team Ocho from the 5-yard line. Johnson zips it in, and a piece of cake right there again to Jeremy Ross.
Let's take another look at the touchdown, Bob. Jeremy Ross with the big post over the top. Gerard Johnson displaying that arm strength. Huge play for the Ocho offense. Jeremy Ross coming in there sliding. One finger in the end. The first touchdown on the board for the pros.
American Flag Football League on NFL Network, presented by LG. Gerard Johnson with a 46-yard touchdown pass to Jeremy Ross. They had 24 yards rushing on that drive, so they used the run game a little bit. He'll handle the throw off. The flag pull can be a little bit of an issue. Jared Boykin on the return.
But if I block, I'll be wrong, huh? You good? Hey, let me know if you need a break. No, you yeah. If y'all need breaks, come on. I got a motor, boy. Chad, man. Hey, let's go. Hey, look, let's go to 2x2. Let's go out 2x2. All go. Somebody on with a shallow cross, left side, and you check through over the ball. Hey, snap it to the back. Snap it to him, and then he gives it back to me. All right. Snap it to him, Griff.
Hey, who got the wing?
Here we go.
Who got the wing?
2x2, bro. 2x2. 2x2.
I got it.
Here we go.
I got it.
Man, we gotta go with Chad.
I got it, man.
Yep.
Pierce takes the snap, gives it to Vick. That turns off the go clock. Vick with the completion to Nick Collins. Lorenzo Taliaferro pulls the flag. Nick Collins Three-time Pro Bowler with the Green Bay Packers, second-round draft pick in 2005. Winner in Super Bowl 45 with the Packers when they beat the Steelers. His career ended prematurely with a neck injury in 2011.
Yeah, he was one of the premier up-and-coming safeties. Played for the Detroit Lions for a lot of times against him, knew how good of a player he was.
Oh, Vick didn't get it off in the 4 seconds, so the go clock expires.
Hey, next time you get the snap.
Yeah, and again, Mike Vick's used to getting rid of the ball or being creative off bodies, off pressure. That's what tells him he's got to escape. Now there is no indicator for him that he's used to. That's going to be something to pay attention to for the pro teams moving forward.
Stick nod over Steve.
You want me to, he gonna have you do me to take the handle?
Yeah. I'm inside. Go. Cut that clock off.
Interesting that the Ocho defense still yet to blitz Michael Vick. They know we don't want to let that car get going.
3rd and 16. Vick has the first down. Is Steve Smith, the former New York Giant, Pro Bowler in 2009, had 107 catches that season.
Steve Smith, a phenomenal career with the New York Giants, an ex-USC guy. Just in the slot there, where's his comfort zone? A stick nod. He gets the defense to think I'm running a little 8-10 yard out route, turns his head, pushes vertical. Vick still enough arm strength to drive the ball in there. And those 107 catches he had in that season with the Giants would have been second in the NFL last year behind Larry Fitzgerald and Jarvis Landry.
And had one of the biggest plays in Super Bowl 42 that doesn't involve a helmet. Kovic with the catch. They're saying the ball hit the ground.
You see him from the back angle here, running a seam route. Ball a little underthrown by Mike Vick, and does Perkovich get his arms underneath? He got his arms underneath there, but that ball hits his belly down to the ground.
It's 2 drops for the lacrosse player.
All right, let's go. Let's go trips right. No, yeah, come back outside. Crosses on the inside. Here we go. Same thing. They sit back.
So you hear Mike Vick talking to his team, give me comebacks on the outside. So if he's going to get a soft corner, look for him to throw a comeback down here to Steve Smith.
2nd and 23 with the snap going to Griffin.
Upfield.
Kovic that time avoided the first flag pull.
That ball got on Perkovich real fast. He did a little bit of a belt show there to avoid that flag pull. Mike Vick driving the ball down to him in the middle of the field.
Same thing. Can I run it? All right, here we go.
3rd and 8.
All right.
Vick takes the completion for the first down.
Okay, so we're seeing this out of the Roadrunners offense. They're snapping it directly to Michael Griffin, and he's just handing it off to Michael Vick to kill that go clock. Now Ocho's defense is going to have to do something to get that ball out of Vick's hands sooner.
1st and goal from the 22-yard line. Michael Vick's Roadrunners trailing Ocho squad 7-0. Vick can run it, but the flag does get pulled by Clayton Paris.
I don't know the rules. These rules crazy as hell. Come on. Huddle.
And Michael Vick told us yesterday, I want to live in a 3-by-1 formation, meaning he's going to take 3 receivers, flush them to his side, single up a guy backside, and just trust a lot of the football concepts he's learned in his career.
You know, and we just heard Michael Vick say something which gives all the amateur guys that they're saying we're going to beat the pros in the championship because we play this game. And you can see the uncertainty of the pros. The question is when the pros have 2 games under their belt playing these rules, if it'll be different. Here's a blitz on Vick. Vick zips it. And did he get in? Did Steve Smith get in? The flag came out at the 1. No, they're calling it a touchdown.
Vick's still elusive enough to get away from the pressure, and then arm strength have been on display all night already. Steve Smith showing his ability to go down, make that catch, roll into the end zone.
I mentioned Steve Smith with that catch in Super Bowl 42. After Tyree made the catch, the Giants had a 3rd and 11.
The player was able to get back up, and his front flag was in the end zone. Touchdown.
The front flag broke the plane. He was untouched. Steve got kicked in the back. But Eli Manning threw about an 8-yard pass, and Steve Smith made a couple Patriots miss, got 12 yards, and then Plaxico scored the winning touchdown. But he was a rookie on that team.
Yeah.
And that was a huge play in Super Bowl 42.
Before that knee injury that he suffered, he was lighting the NFL on fire. Like I said, in 09, that 107 catches was nothing to just turn your head at.
The previous play is under review.
Michael Vick, 6 of 7 for 61 yards on the drive. He wasn't touched. His flag came out and the flag broke the play, and then he got run into by Duke Iheanacho and took a knee in the back.
In the flag game, the only thing that needs to cross is a flag. That front flag is basically the ball in the NFL when it crosses that pylon.
The play on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
So Steve Smith with the touchdown catch, and now Michael Vick's Roadrunners will go for the 1-point conversion from the 5-yard line. Vick completes it to Rodriguez for the 1-point conversion. So we're tied at 7 here in the first half as the pros making their debut in flag football.
In less than 0.15 of a second, a 90-degree swivel of the hips reorients the flags and allows ball carriers to slip through a 50% smaller gap between defenders. But the signature move showcased in the US Open has to be the dip. It's essentially a series of lunges. By exaggerating flexion of the leading knee, a ball carrier can drop his center of mass and therefore his flags by at least half a foot.
Well, I don't think we'll be seeing the dip from the pros just yet. It'll be interesting to see in a couple weeks when they play the winning amateur team how they deal with the dip. Michael Vick on the throw off this time. Team Ocho is going to run it out. And Marvin Bracey, the Olympic sprinter, a 3-time U.S. national champion in the 60 meters for Team Ocho with the return.
Yeah, hey, look, I got Chad. I want to the right.
Dion, I got Chad.
Over there.
I got Chad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gerard Johnson with a 46-yard touchdown pass to Jeremy Ross.
Jeremy Ross, a guy that I had the opportunity to play with in the Detroit Lions, and I spoke with him yesterday. I said, where do you stand? He said, I'm still staying active. I still want my opportunity to come back to me in the NFL. Obviously a good showing for him to start this game tonight.
Number 3. There you go. There you go.
And throw me the ball right now. Throw me the ball. Throw me the ball.
Dennis Dixon said, throw me the ball.
That's 4 of them.
Going. Hey, come on. Come on.
Gerard Johnson pass to beat Dennis Dixon.
Same thing, let's go. Same thing. Run hot.
Wait. Defense.
Let's go. Dip, let's go.
That was their third.
Same thing. No, that was their 4.
You see the Ocho offense having the ability to get to the line of scrimmage. Dennis Dixon at Oregon with Chip Kelly, known for their tempo. They told us we could get to the line of scrimmage, run plays very quickly.
Johnson not blitzed on this play.
Get north. Keep
an
going.
open receiver.
Here we go. Hey, line.
And that's
line
Albert
right,
Mack,
right. Let's go. Line right.
former free agent with the Buccaneers, spent 4 years with the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Oh, you need 3-1. You need 3-1.
As a defensive player, 117 tackles, 6 career interceptions.
6 to the 50-yard line.
Here we go. Just run a hitch. Just run a hitch. Hut.
3rd and 7, no blitz.
Good. Let's go. On the ball. Let's go. 3 right. 3 right.
Lorenzo Taliaferro.
Go.
Looking at some plays. 4th round pick of the Ravens in 2014.
I got you.
Man, go 1st and 22 to the 25-yard line.
Hut. Slant.
1st and 22.
Oh, Fred, wide open. Here we go. Same thing.
You like the patience they're showing, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, Gerard Johnson doing a good job of just taking completions no matter what level of football is. If the defense is going to sit back and play zone, you just take completions, make them come up to you. So he's doing a nice job of that. They're putting formation into boundary, 3 receivers, giving the defense a lot to look at.
The flag is off, then it just becomes touch. Johnson with a heck of a throw, and Ross is in for the touchdown. 42 yards.
What a throw by Johnson. Tonight displaying incredible arm strength. And we see it again. We saw it with Hoosh in the first game. You'll see it with Johnson here. Just this turkey hole, this honey hole that's about that 20-yard line, 20-yard shot just on the sideline, not allowing the safety to come over the top. And there's Jeremy Ross, a guy trying to prove, listen, I want another opportunity in the NFL, securing the catch.
Nick
Scoring
Collins
a touchdown.
late coming over.
You got to have enough arm strength, though. That safety knows that that's that weakness. You got to have enough arm strength, those Aaron Rodgers type throws to fit it in on the sideline.
Team Ocho going for the 1. And that one is dropped. Deion Bailey, former Seahawk and New York Jet, can't hold the conversion. But Team Ocho up 13-7 here in the first half. Gerard Johnson has thrown touchdown passes of 46 and 42 yards to Jeremy Ross.
And they've got a nice little connection going on. And for our folks at home, that honey hole, that turkey hole, that hole shot is that space just about on the sidelines, about 20 yards downfield, in between the corner, in between the safety. The biggest thing, you got to have the ability to drive the football to the sidelines. Matthew Stafford, a guy with the Detroit Lions, notorious for those types of throws.
Next time we're going to isolate you, go slang, go something like that, whatever you want. Your choice. They're going to be a man.
Dennis Dixon will handle the throw off for Team Ocho.
I'm going to shoot right here. Hey, dude, right. We got on the line. Here we go. Y'all go out my state for the throwback. I got the throwback. That ain't fast enough. Oh, yeah. Good job, Dennis. Go get it. You got a pitch.
And that's a mistake right there, running it out, as we sent it down to Kay.
Standing here with Aaron Rouse, 3 years in the NFL. Now you're here on the flag football field. What drew you to the sport?
You know, it's about camaraderie. It's about staying in touch with guys you played in the league with. You know, life is much bigger than football. It's about coming out here having fun.
You're giving them that work on the field. You're doing great stuff off the field as well.
Yeah. So I'm running for city council back home in Virginia Beach, with a shout out to C-Tech, my community, and also give a shout out to the Filipino community. I'm sorry I wasn't there today for Phil Lamb, but I'll make sure I make it next year.
Legit, I'm wearing a sticker for Aaron Rouse, and I know we have a bunch of them. Let's go hand them out to your teammates.
Yeah.
Let's go. We're busy. Bye.
Aaron Rouse, a 3rd-round pick of the Packers in 2007. Spent time with the Packers and Giants, and doing good work running for city council. Vick under pressure. That pass is high and incomplete. Intended for Michael Griffin.
Good job by the Ocho defense of realizing the handoff to Michael Vick. We're going to blitz him right away. And it's not even going to be a blitz, it'll be a rush.
Nick Collins doing a little campaigning. And that was a mistake, though, understanding the rules of the game, right? So Jarrett Boykin decides to run that kickoff back, that throw-off back, and now Michael Vick's squad, they're in a tough spot. They've got to get to midfield for a first down. It's 2nd and 42. Griffin on the short pass. And the flag pulled by Fred Jackson, the former Buffalo Bill. So it sets up 3rd and 25.
Huddle up, catch your breath.
Hey. Want to go bang under?
Hey, we got to get to the 50. Yeah.
25.
There, let's go bang. Everybody, let's go bang.
See the pros, they got the little wristbands on.
Yeah, Mike Vick had told us a lot of these guys have played in so many different offenses. I'm trying to communicate them with. Some guys are digits, some guys are concepts and names. He's got a kind of a smorgasbord of an offense.
Pass is short of the first down to Boykin, so it'll set up a 4th and about 7 for Michael Vick's Roadrunners. Gain of 18 on the play.
Come here.
Hey.
I got a 15-yard in route behind the coverage.
4th and 7 to the 50-yard line.
Wigan doing a nice job of kind of running a post stop, getting that defender Ocho to just sink in over the top enough, putting his foot in the ground, and giving Vick a good area to throw the ball.
So you're gonna take.
4th and 7, they bring pressure. Vick gets it away, but the pass for Rodriguez incomplete. Clayton Parros came on the blitz. So the Roadrunners turn it over on downs.
Parros, the guy that Ocho's defense is defining. You're going to go after Michael Blitz. You've got Michael Vick. You've got the speed to get home. The pressure enough forces the inaccurate throw by Michael Vick. Parros impacting this Roadrunner offense with his speed.
Parros, the 2014 gold medalist in the World Indoor in the 4x400.
Went into the game talking about the Roadrunner secondary and how important, impactful their defense was going to be loaded. It's been the Ocho secondary that's really had a nice performance so far tonight.
This shit happened to us the first game. 4 seconds.
Johnson with an open receiver and hits Deion Bailey. Nick Tintle pulls the flag.
Come on. Hey, right here we can play like cover 2.
Huh?
Same shit. Yeah, we had cover 2 right here.
Cover 2?
Yeah. We can't chop that. We had to get chunks.
Stay inside. 2.
Hey.
2. Johnson, go get him, Johnson. Go get him, Johnson.
2nd and 6 from the 31 for Johnson and Team Ocho. Pass nearly intercepted by Brandon Browner. Won a Super Bowl with the Patriots, a Super Bowl with Seattle.
One of the founding members of the Legion of Boom. Beautiful break on the ball, getting his hand right in front of Fred Jackson. Not tonight.
Played his college ball at Oregon State, broke into the NFL as a free agent in 2005 with the Broncos, won 3 Grey Cups in the CFL as well.
I think the biggest thing that people who aren't used to seeing him is when you do see him, just how immense he is size-wise.
3rd and 6, Dixon on the run, and he's chased down nicely by Dustin Johnson.
We got 45. Go for it. Hey, it's going to be a track. Cardio. Let's go. Here we go.
So it's a 4th and 5 for Team Ocho, leading 13-7.
Two right.
And if you're the Roadrunner defense, think trying to get, you got all those secondary players, get up and play some man-to-man.
You throw it.
Dixon takes the handoff, and they get the flag out before he gets the first down. Dixon only had 1 flag, so all you had to do was touch him with 1 hand.
And in flag, you see the leap by Dixon there. There is no advancing. You cannot do that. He would have been down from where he left from. Another little wrinkle in the flag that's different than the NFL.
Right, because you're playing regular football. You go airborne, it's where the ball is. Instead, it's where you started your jump. So the diving meant nothing. Clock's moving on Michael Vick and the Roadrunners, trailing by 6 here in the first half.
Go, straight up the same, boy.
Vick.
Yo, come on, man. That's not a flag. Hey, run.
And the pass is dropped.
Come back.
This is still football. Perkovich down the middle of the field. Vick, we call it an any eye over, just enough over Fred Jackson in front of the safety. That's a lot of contact. Give him credit for getting back up. Tough lacrosse guy.
Vick going with the deep ball, and it's knocked away. I think Griffin actually knocked it away from his teammate Rodriguez down the seam.
I got some for him. Come here.
Michael Vick had told us yesterday, if they're going to play zone against me, somebody's always open. Right now, he's forcing the ball a little bit too much down that cover 2 seam. I think he's got to look to find some underneath throws to get the ball in his playmaker's hands.
Corner
got two?
Corner go on the side.
We got two timeouts. We got two timeouts. Hey, look. How you get to the center? I mean, how you get to, and then that way I'm live. All right, I'm gonna throw it up for you.
We got another timeout after this.
We got to make a big play, but look, how you get to the back, you give it to me just in case we get too far. Then cut the clock off, because they play deep. So give me some time to just run. All right.
Launch this to the end zone.
Come on, we're gonna launch these. We get the ball at half anyway.
We still got another timeout too.
Hey, look, we get the ball at half anyway, so we good. So we got to take a shot. One of these two down.
All right, so look, maybe we should flood an area then. Maybe we should flood an area.
Why you so far deep? Hey, yo, I'm about to have y'all just one-on-one and throw it up me and Chad.
Mike, he gonna pull his safety.
Run the post.
Come on, he gonna pull his safety.
All right, look, pull the safety. Go. Here you go.
They all back.
You got it, girl.
What was obvious is the pro guys are used to that clock stopping on an incomplete pass. That wasn't the case here.
Vick's going to run with it, but they're going to run out of time in the half. They don't get the flag. They get the timeout called because the clock doesn't stop until the end of the game, the last 2 minutes of the game.
Now the timeout can only be called by somebody that is on the field. You cannot call it from the sidelines.
Well, the refs say the timeout was not called. Again, understanding the rules with the moving clock. Michael Vick was thinking getting out of bounds would stop the clock. Not in flag football. Michael Vick back in Atlanta. Ochocinco at 40 years of age still got game. Chad Johnson with touchdown passes to Jeremy Ross of 46 and 42 yards. Steve Smith with a touchdown grab for the Roadrunners. Team Ocho up at the half.
Child, please. You know what child please mean? Like if somebody come to you, if coach come to you and be like, man, did he cover you? You can just look at coach and be like, man, coach, child, please, because you really disrespecting me, right? Child, please. Child, please. Child, please. Child, please. Child, please.
Yeah, only if Chad challenged me to come out in the fourth quarter.
Go on.
Child, please.
Child, please, he says. Let's go!
A little fun before the game. The American Flag Football League on NFL Network halftime show presented by LG. And at the half, Team Ocho with a 13-7 lead over Michael Vick's Roadrunners. As Chad Johnson has thrown a couple of touchdown passes. Ochocinco having a little fun out there competing, playing a little defense as well tonight at 40 years of age. And Jeremy Ross with a couple of long touchdown catches, 46 and 42 yards for the former Indianapolis Colt, Packer, Raven, Jet, and Arizona Cardinal. Let's take a look at the Bud Light player comparison. And for Team Ocho, Chad Johnson has been outstanding.
The biggest thing he's displayed is this incredible arm strength. This is my favorite pass of the first half. That whole shot, like I talked about, driving the ball to the sideline to Jeremy Ross. The big arm with the post down the field, seeing that safety Rouse get a little bit nosy, ability to get it up over. Ross sliding in for the huge touchdown catch. That was the first score of the game. Johnson's been very, very impressive throwing the football tonight. He obviously big part of their success so far on offense.
Well, Michael Vick's Roadrunners will get the ball to start the second half, trying to get something going, trailing 13-7 at halftime as the pros taking center stage in flag football. American Flag Football League halftime show presented by LG. Team Ocho with a 13-7 lead at the half over Michael Vick's Roadrunners. Tomorrow in the America's bracket, Code Red takes on the Money Team. The winner advances to America's bracket final next week in Indianapolis. They'll take on Fighting Cancer, a winner tonight. The pros taking center stage. Team Vick, the Roadrunners trailing Ochocinco squad 13-7 at the half. As we send it down to Kay Adams.
I'm here with the man who made the team himself, Chad Ochocinco. You liking what your team's doing out there?
We're doing well. We're doing extremely well. Offensively, we the quarterbacks are doing extremely well. They're taking what they see and they're not forcing the ball. I've been on the defensive side of the ball the first half, so I'm gonna work my way in the offense and have some fun.
Extra special night for you here in Atlanta. You have your daughter here on the bench cheering you on. Proud of her today?
Yeah, very proud of her. My daughter's here. For those that do know or follow me, she's running at Rome, Georgia, at Barron Stadium. Her sister's here to support. Mom is here. The other 84 kids are at home. We're just having fun.
Do you teach her to trash talk just like you do out there?
No, I know nothing about track. I just know she's fast.
Sounds good, Chad. Get back out there, guys.
Good stuff from Ochocinco as his team tries to move on. We mentioned that in the Americas bracket. We also have the pros bracket tomorrow night. Godspeed, led by Justin Forsett with Seneca Wallace, will take on Holdat. Nate Robinson, the former NBA slam dunk champ, leads that team. So another doubleheader for you tomorrow night. Steve Smith wisely takes the touchback for Team Vick's Roadrunners. Michael Vick, one pass over 18 yards in the first half. Gerard Johnson had 2, and they went for touchdowns.
Let's start out with the smash. No, I'm talking about. We're going to start out with the smash out of 2x2, and then we're going to come back and go out of trips. You know me and running back. Who won the center? Hey, you got to center. You got to run the center. Here we go.
Go. The snap goes to Michael Griffin. That turns off the go clock.
Upfield.
Well, that's a penalty on Ochocinco as he grabbed Boykin's jersey. You cannot do that. And that's where the pros still have to figure out some of the rules of the game.
Yeah, I don't got no boots. Chad Johnson's been, all these guys have used that move throughout their whole career, holding a guy up. Let your buddies come. You'll see with this left-hand grab on Boykin's back right there, not allowed. These guys are shooting at a 2-inch target with this flag. It's going to be harder than they think, and we're seeing that a little bit tonight.
Straight down the middle. I'm going to pump right and then come down the middle.
Jared Boykin with 5 catches so far to lead the Roadrunners, actually 6 for 67.
And let's watch Evan Rodriguez down the seam here.
Oh, Vick's got him. There's Rodriguez down the seam. Jersey's pulled. Is he in? Clayton Paros, I think, got the flag out at the 5-yard line.
Holding defense.
63 yards to Rodriguez.
And let's keep our eyes on this safety right here. Mike Vick's gonna pump him and send Rodriguez just down the seam right there. He's gonna get that safety to move with this pump fake. Right there. Moves him wide enough. He brings Rodriguez in. Huge chunk for the Roadrunner offense to start this second half.
Deion Bailey missed the flagpole, but watch the sprinting speed of Clayton Paris. He pulls the flag out, and that could be big because it's not easy to get the ball in from the 5-yard line. Vick can't complete it. Brandon Boykin on the coverage, and the lacrosse player having a little bit of a tough time holding on to the football.
Yeah, he's had a rough night catching the football. He's taking a shot down the middle of the field. Brandon Boykin on defense there. Boykin is a guy, a couple years ago, one of the up-and-coming slot defenders in the NFL. One of those inside guys covering a slot guy. Pretty good coverage right there. Perkovich unable to make the catch on the outside.
Come straight to me. You go straight up the middle. Here we go. So go.
Oh my God!
Hey, I could have ran that, right? I could have ran that. Hold on.
Steve Smith saying he was wide open on the slant to start.
I thought it was third down. Third down. It's third.
Every receiver thinks they're wide open down in the red zone. Not just Ocho. Every guy down there thinks, and that's what allows some of those guys to be great.
2x2, but I want y'all to run slants.
Wow.
No. Hey, look. Yeah.
Wow.
You flood this out. Run the smash. Look. Run smash him right there. You take the snap, right? Yeah. You take it from that direction.
Let's keep our eyes on the inside receiver. Boykin going to potentially that back corner of the end zone.
trying to throw the out. Nice defense there by Clayton Paros to knock it away. He had the big flag pull to stop the touchdown, and now it's 4th down for the Roadrunners.
That's really well done. Paros kind of staying in between Boykin, the receiver, and Mike Vick. I would have loved to see Vick just take a little bit off, a little bit touch to the back corner, kind of what we saw Hoosh do in our amateurs game, just a little bit of a lollipop to the back corner. I think he would have had Boykin in the back end zone.
They blitz, they coming right here.
So it's 4th and goal. Vick's Roadrunners down 6.
Oh, shit.
And that's a false start on the Roadrunners, and there's not another down. You lose the ball.
And another example of just one of those little things that makes the game just a little bit different. Why those members of the America's bracket so confident.
So Clayton Paros, the former sprinter from North Carolina, makes a couple of big plays. Right here, the deflection.
Just a nice job of undercutting the route.
And look at his dad, Peter Paros, putting on a strong defense on Mike Vick. Yes, he did. And more importantly, he's pulled the flag on Rodriguez in what could have been an easy touchdown and forced them to run 4 plays, and they didn't score.
And we've seen that be so impactful. We saw it with Drew Peterson and Code Red out of the America's bracket last week, and tonight with Clayton Paros.
Dixon on the reception.
Hey, don't sleep on me, boy. Good.
Bernard Pierce pulled the flag. Because it was a turnover on downs, Team Ocho has to get to the 25-yard line for a new set of downs. Blitz comes. Dixon on the catch.
Line left, let's go, hurry up.
Griffin pulls the flag.
Line left. Dennis, come here, Here we go. Let's go, line up. Let's go over the line, turn around. Come on. Back up. Back up, turn around.
They need 3 yards for a first on 3rd down. And they get that easily, and there's Ross. He turned Griffin around, and he takes it out to the 49-yard line. Nick Collins got the flag out. But they get 32.
The result of the play is a 1st down, Ocho.
Johnson just doing a really good job of kind of playing boring quarterback, getting the ball out of his hands. He looked left there, saw the opening. Let me get that slant behind it.
So now if you understand the strategy, it's 1st and 3 from the 47. This is where you take the shot over the top, because any touchdown over 50 yards is worth 7 points, not 6. Instead, Dixon makes the catch, quarterback to quarterback, and they got the 1st down. Steve Smith pulled the flag.
Let's go, on the line.
You know, us quarterbacks are known to play some favorites. Again, a Johnson to Dixon connection, heavy tonight. I think they've just got a big trust in a lot of each other, what they're doing tonight.
1st and 20 to the 25-yard line.
Team Ocho with a good plan. Dixon again, they don't get the flag, and Dixon's still going.
Here we go. Same thing.
Rouse finally pulled it out. But you're giving up 15 extra yards because you don't get the flag out.
Well, Roadrunners just playing in your basic cover 2 defense, trying to give completions underneath and grab the flag. If you're going to give that completion, you better grab that flag.
So now it's 1st and goal from the 22. Johnson just gets it off in time and completes it for the touchdown to Fred Jackson. 22 yards. 3rd touchdown pass for Johnson.
Fred Jackson, a guy that led the NFL in all-purpose yards not too long ago. Johnson scanning the field right to left. Gets backside, drives it to Fred Jackson. Beautiful job of him crossing the field.
Hard road to the NFL, played in the Indoor Football League, not drafted out of Coe College, played for Sioux City, the Rhine Fire, and then broke in with the Bills in 2006 and spent 8 years with Buffalo.
This might be the first time we're seeing this, at least by choice, is this Ocho offense is now going to go for a 2-pointer from the 10-yard line to see if they can get to 21.
They get the blitz. Dixon takes the pitch. What a throw by Dixon, and what a catch by Ross for the 2-point conversion. Jeremy Ross having a night.
How about that? Johnson to Dixon on a little bit of a lateral. It'll be interesting to see if that actually was a lateral from Johnson to Dixon and not 2 forward passes.
It's tough to tell.
That's close, but a beautiful throw by Dixon, and then we saw Carmouche with a little toe tap in the first game. Jeremy Ross saying, don't forget about me.
Let's take a look to see if this, that looks like a forward pass to me.
Somewhere Frank Wycheck is watching.
The Music City Miracle?
Yeah. It's close. Not the same moment, but very similar happenings. Nice job by Ross.
Hey, got both feet in. But we think it's 2 forward passes, so it won't count. And we've been told that that was considered a forward pass to Dixon, so the 2-point conversion will come off the board. And the lead is 19-7 in favor of Team Ocho.
Back here in Atlanta, and the home team, Michael Vick's team, is down. You've been there before, though. Michael, what's going on?
Look, we got to find a way to put it together. Offense and defense, that's it. We got 21 minutes.
You said you can't play defense, but you kind of could if you wanted to.
I might, you never know. They don't need me over there.
Stay tuned.
Okay, they got to get some points on the board is what they have to do, and they had a 1st and goal at the 5 and did not score. Then they committed a penalty on the 4th down play, which turned the ball over. Dixon on the throw.
Yes.
And that'll be a touchback as Steve Smith caught it on the run in the end zone going out of bounds.
Michael Vick just needs to get the ball out of his hands for completions. He's 4 out of his last 11 for a guy who told us, listen, someone's going to be open, I'm going to get a ton of completions. Not doing it right now.
And these pro teams are going to learn on the throw-off, as we saw with Fighting Cancer. You don't want to throw it in the end zone. If you got that big arm, you want that ball to be returned from about the 2 or 3 and force that team's possession to be 1st and more than 25.
Yeah, height is a lot more important than depth.
Go clock gets turned off. And there's another penalty on Ochocinco. Boykin. See, that's where the pros have to get better, is pulling the flag. Ocho grabbed the jersey, too. Remember something, Ocho's 40 years old.
Yeah. He told us he can't beat his daughter in a race, and right now he's struggling to play quarterback with some of the rules that we've got going on.
Jarrett Boykin with his college ball at Virginia Tech.
Penalty will be declined. They'll take the result of the play. 1st down.
I mean, Boykin's 28 years old. He's going against a guy that he's 12 years younger than. Oh, nice play there by Lorenzo Taliaferro.
We've got some of these terms here, Bob. We've seen the throw off and the loser's walk. We haven't seen any belt show from the pros team. We've seen it displayed by the Americas guys. No dip, but they avoid the lower body dip, avoiding that flagpole. That's going to be a big thing moving forward, especially in this championship game down in Houston in a couple weeks.
I guess other than game reps for the pros, they'll play a semifinal game next week. It's hard to practice flagpoles. Griffin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Flag finally ripped out by Brandon Boykin. Boykin played his college ball here in Georgia, 4th round pick of the Eagles in 2012.
Get to the sticks now.
I can't cover 2 people.
What's just interesting nowadays is in the NFL, there's less contact in practice, so coaches are going to a lot more walkthroughs and jog-throughs, and they're making those defenders get in positions where it's almost a 2-hand touch off. Some of these guys that have been out in the NFL for 2 or 3 years, they didn't get to take advantage of those situations like some of the guys might be doing now. So
Vick completes it to Boykin again, and that is a 1st down inside the 25-yard line.
That's why I said that, because they ain't had no choice. They got to go short.
Boykin 8 catches for 109 yards. Nobody else has more than 2 for the Roadrunners.
both these guys were kind of the most recent NFL receivers, Jeremy Ross for the Ocho team and Boykin for the Roadrunners, proving why they were in the NFL for such a long time.
Paros gets the flag out. Sergio Perkovic, a little rough night catching the ball.
Finally squeezed one.
Blitz.
Yeah!
And that time, he caught it, and he goes in for the touchdown.
That's a touchdown.
You can't die. He got in, man.
Here's another example of how the league is unique. You can't advance that ball there. You can't. You're going to see Perkovic, this circle right here, him respond to that hot route. Somebody blitzes off his head. I'm there. But watch the end of the play. You're not allowed to advance the ball. This isn't the NFL, so he's going to be down right where that play started.
They hand it off to Griffin. And I think the flag got pulled. Nice job by Marvin Bracey.
Same thing.
Fourth down, baby.
Same thing. Same thing.
That flag has got to cross. It didn't look like that Michael Griffin flag crossed.
4th and goal. They blitz him, and Vick throws the incompletion.
Let's go! Let's go!
So it looked like Vick's squad had the score, but you can't dive in and break the plane. And then a couple of clutch flag pulls and timely blitzes.
And I'm surprised that Michael Vick has been so unprepared for pressure tonight. Not really having a plan, and then at the end of the play, you see him fading away there. Not having an understanding of the pressure, what's my answer? And at the end of the play, Ochocinco letting him know about it, making sure, hey, you go walk to that sideline.
Brandon Boykin came on the blitz, so Gerard Johnson and Team Ocho, they're gonna run it, and that flag did not get pulled, and then Browner knocks Bracey out of bounds.
The defense goes on the play. That was their third.
A run of 25 for the sprinter. And they had a chance for a safety right here, but Dustin Johnson missed the flag.
And that's another example of how that's so impactful. Bracey enough speed to break the edge. Then Browner with the shove out. Back to his NFL Seattle Seahawks days.
They got the first down.
You're on the ball, Zoe.
Across the 25. And the flag pull has really been an issue in this game, as the amateurs told us it would be. Another run play. Brandon Boykin took the carry. Bernard Pierce worked him out of bounds.
Let's go.
Kind of like what they did there. They put a receiver just to Johnson's left with a little bit of a cut split, seeing it was man-to-man. They send him on a shallow, and the guy responsible for the running back just gets held up, almost like a little bit of a pick or a mesh route. Allows a little bit more of a run advantage for the Ocho offense.
Johnson has the deep cross and completes it to Dion Bailey. There's a flag on the play.
Take the first. Decline. Take the first.
You want me to play receiver?
Yeah. Holding. Defense. Penalty is declined. Take the spot where the end of the play. First down.
Along with the amateurs in the American bracket tomorrow night, the other semifinal, we'll see Godspeed, led by Justin Forsett, Jacoby Jones, Seneca Wallace taking on Team Holdat, with Jimmy Clausen, Carlos Boozer, Nate Robinson, Kerry Rhodes. That's the other pro semifinal tomorrow night, live here on NFL Network.
You got a wheel. Hey, Johnson, get on the left side. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hey.
Team Ocho in the blue up 19-7 here in the second half. Gerard Johnson has been money. Dion Bailey with the catch. Nick Collins pulls the flag. 22-yard pickup for Bailey.
Hey. Hey.
Really nice job of the Ocho offense. They're going to send 2 guys on shallow routes, kind of crossing the center at about 4 or 5 yards, and then they send Bailey right behind them at about 12 yards, forcing a linebacker, a second-level defender. Hey, you've got to make a choice in zone. You're either going to come up for that shallow and throw it behind you, stay deep, I'll throw it in front of you. Johnson doing a nice job of dissecting this offense.
They seem to have a much better plan than Vick's Roadrunners offensively and how to attack a defense.
Run it, get over the line, get over the line, get over the line.
2nd and 1. And you heard Johnson screaming to Brandon Boykin, just get over the line.
No,
2nd and 1. Now it's 3rd and 1.
Come on. Yeah, here we go. Let's get it right. Here we go. Hey, let's get tight.
We've seen them utilize a ton of handoffs tonight to their advantage.
We got to go over the red line. What we got? All hitch. Tight by the ball. Here we go. All hitch.
Okay, so they're going to get into some tight, condensed splits. You see a bunch in a 2-by-2. Everyone's going to get to about 4 to 5 yards, turn around. Johnson's going to find the soft spot of the zone.
He's got Fred Jackson, and he just underhands it to him. Once the ball comes out, it's dead.
That's a blitz. That's a blitz. That's a blitz.
That's a blitz, baby. Defense blitz on the play. That's their 4th of the half. They'll have 1 remaining. 1st and goal.
Bring it up. Good job. Yeah, here we go.
Nice improvisation by Johnson with the blitzer coming at him.
Well, look at the difference between him and Michael Vick that we saw on the last drive. Not having a plan for the blitzer. Johnson just realizing, hey, I needed a yard. Let me flip it underhand to Fred Jackson. Now I got a new set of downs.
Come across. Here we go. Keep going.
Flag gets pulled from Taliaferro. Johnson over 300 yards passing.
Bob, what we're seeing is how the stuff does transfer over from our traditional football that we may watch on Saturdays and Sundays. The little things, protecting the football, being completion driven, being really good in situational football opportunities. We're seeing Ocho's team excel at it. Roadrunners struggle with it.
Come left to right. Here we go.
I gotta get off the center shit.
2nd and goal at the 14.
Get north! Get north!
Boykin with the catch. Flag got pulled by Nick Tintle.
Here we go.
You know, the other interesting is it's interesting watching the pros when a pass is completed, whereas we saw with the America's amateur bracket, they're always thinking about where's the pitch. And these guys are just get north, not thinking of running somebody around to pitch it to them when you're allowed 1 lateral.
Absolutely, and the guys in the pros bracket have been trained for years and years and years. Catch, get vertical. They've never thought about a lateral. You get cut from teams if you do that.
3rd and goal. Pass incomplete, intended for Jeremy Ross, who's got a couple of touchdowns. Gerard Johnson and Team Ocho in front of Michael Vick's Roadrunners. Johnson has managed the game better.
And he's just done a nice job of getting the ball out of his hands and getting completions, really forcing the Roadrunner defense, in essess, to pull flags, saying, you guys, just like when you would play a Tampa 2 team defense in the NFL, make him tackle, he's making them pull flags.
And I think having Dennis Dixon as a 2nd quarterback has really served them well. Squeezes one in, and it was nearly intercepted by Brandon Browner. So the Roadrunners get a stop that they must have, trailing 19-7. American Flag Football League on NFL Network, presented by LG. A little trash talking. Ochocinco's squad leading Michael Vick's squad here in the 2nd half, 19-7. The Roadrunners back on offense, and Jared Boykin's had a good night. You know, listen, if you score a touchdown over 50 yards, it's worth 7 points. So the Roadrunners not out of this game. Rodriguez. Another catch over the middle. Duke Iannacho got the flag out.
Here we go, you got it, Griff.
And I like the Roadrunner offense, just kind of spreading them out, getting them to this empty set, 3 receivers to one, 2 to the other, allowing Vick to be very specific with how he wants to attack the zone.
Jared Boykin with yet another catch.
Here we go.
It's got 9 for 123 yards.
Hey!
Vick's got the deep ball, and he's got an open receiver for the touchdown. And that's Aaron Rouse.
Chow, please. Over the top of Ochocinco's head. Get a little nosy in the backfield. Maybe playing DB's not as easy as he thought.
Come here. Let's go.
Vick staring one way, getting Ochocinco to kind of fall back. Finding Rouse down the sidelines. Quick plays, exactly what the Roadrunner offense needed.
And I'm sure Aaron Rouse, as a defensive player, got toasted a few times by Ochocinco, so he got to return the favor. They're going to go for one. Vick has it knocked away.
It don't matter, we're going to score and beat y'all. No.
Brandon Boykin denied the extra point.
That's a big play there, because now it's going to force this Roadrunner offense, if they want to win this ball game, to score a touchdown and get that 1-point conversion.
So that would have gone for 2 to make it 19-15.
Let's put our eyes on Ochocinco up here. Rouse is just going to go up the sideline. And you're going to get Michael Vick to just get Ochocinco to be a little bit lazy. You're going to put eyes on him. Oh, a little hesitation, get his feet to settle. As a quarterback, you know, if DB gets his feet settled, that ball is going over the top. And that's a loser's walk. That's a loser's walk by Ocho right there.
Vick on the throw off.
Knee it. No!
Oh, that's the one thing you can't do is run it out. And the flag gets pulled. And that is not understanding the rules by Marvin Bracey, because now they've got to get to the 50, so it's first and, let's see, where'd the flag get pulled? What yard line?
I was jumping with 2. We should have downed that. I was trying to be
The ball is all the way back
Got 3 timeouts.
Hey, 3 left.
inside the 15-yard line. So now you have a 1st and 37 as opposed to a 1st and 25.
Yeah, and after that touchdown for the Roadrunners, that Ochocinco team has got to take that loser's walk all the way down to the other side of the field.
Dixon has the flag pulled by Bernard Pierce.
I remember being a kid, recess, let's go play some tackle football or 2-hand touch. That was the best thing to be saying to guys. Hey, losers walk, winners talk. We just scored, losers walk.
2nd and 27 for Team Ocho. They lead by 6.
They replace him if he blitz.
Wait, take your time. Take your time.
He's telling Taliaferro if they blitz, go right to that spot where he vacated. Taliaferro, uses the lateral. That's a dead ball. It's not a live ball. Flag football.
You done crazy, bro.
Here we go. Pull up.
We gotta go to the 50.
You gotta get to the 50.
Yeah, come here.
Taliaferro made the catch. You're allowed 1 lateral.
Stop. Trail the play. Who's the center? Trail the play. Look.
If I was the Roadrunners defense,
Look. Here's look.
I'd be blitzing Gerard Johnson right now. Forcing that ball out of his hands, not letting him sit back and get completions.
Through the middle. You go run trips right. Put it through the middle. Who's playing F? Someone got to get out. Go 8 yards, sit, and pivot. Someone's out. You got a big dig. 15-yard dig. That makes sense? No, who's the center? Look.
Please place 4 minutes and 19 seconds on the game clock.
Are you flying, taking the top off? Flying through the middle.
Down here?
Yeah. Just,
sit, something.
Yeah. Here we go.
3rd and 23 for Team Ocho.
Hey, tighten down and run the corner so the backside safety can't pick it.
Please reset the game clock to 4:19.
Run the corner. Tighten down and run the corner.
I got you.
If I'm the Roadrunner defense right now, I'm blitzing Gerard Johnson in this situation to force them to hopefully get out of his hands, maybe get a punt.
Look, come here. Hey, come here.
I'm having trouble resetting the game clock to
Y'all two switch.
4:19.
You run the post for number 2. You run for number 3. Run right at 23. Pull him out. Here we go. Hut.
They do bring the blitz. Taliaferro with the catch. And the flag gets pulled.
That's the last blitz, right?
Brandon Pierce.
Defense blitz down the play. That is their 5th and final blitz. 4th down.
And that's the final blitz for the Roadrunners.
And I love that choice by them because now it's going to put Ocho's team in a decision-making mode, which would be a punt. It's going to be a throw-off. It's going to allow Roadrunners to get the ball back.
No, we're going to let it all the way down. No, we're going to let it go all the way down and call timeout. Oh, we're good. Stay up. We want to call timeout at 1 second. Hey.
Bracey.
Timeout. We can't, no. Hey, let's get some of our defensive guys out here to cover this.
So Gerard Johnson used the clock. They're not going to go for it on 4th and 15 because they're on their own side of the field.
That's their first of the half.
They're going to do what basically is a punt and throw it off.
And they're going to rely on their defense to shut down one of the most electric players in the history of the NFL, and Michael Vick.
But other than that, I'm guessing that on this next defensive series, Team Ocho is going to be Ocho-less. He is not going to be out there playing corner.
Right, Dennis.
Because let's face it, the Roadrunners have had a hard time scoring, and it was only when Ocho was out there at corner that Rouse ran right by him.
Not their fastest.
And they throw it into the end zone, which was a mistake.
You want them to return it.
Why wouldn't you want to throw it in the field of play and make Brandon Browner start running with the ball?
And Dixon's got enough arm strength. He just threw the ball 65, 70 yards. Put some air on it. Try to pin him deep like a punter would in the NFL.
Remember, the 2-minute timing rules don't come into effect until the 2-minute warning of the second half. Griffin makes the first man miss, and then they get the flag out.
Good job by Vick. 2-minute drill, get the ball in her hands, get a completion.
Remember, any touchdowns over 50 yards are worth 7. That would put Vick's team in the lead. They go underneath to Rouse.
On the ball. Come on.
Still got 2 times.
Ref, what are you doing? Hey, stay on the ball. What the Come on. Catch it, Griff. Go. Hey, go.
Vick looking for Rodriguez running down the seam. So now the clock will stop on incompletions with 2 minutes to go in the game.
Come here.
Vick's going to want that one back. He got Ocho in the perfect defense at cover 3. That middle field safety shaded backside. He had Rodriguez down the seam, just a little bit more on the ball.
Hey, look. I want y'all to just trot down the field. I'm going to run. But look, the next time you was wide open. I just couldn't gather my feet. We're going to do the same thing. Here we go.
If you got to bounce, it stops the clock.
All right.
Hey, who's snapping? Somebody got to snap. Hey, snap.
Here we go. Yeah.
No, underneath your leg. Underneath your leg.
Just snap it to him. Go.
The handoff turns off the go clock. Michael Vick's going to run with it. And the flag gets pulled nicely. He's going to get called for a flag, too, because he flag guarded. You saw him wave his right hand to try to stop the defender from grabbing the flag.
And now that's going to send it. If it is flag guarding, that's going to send this to 4th down. Not 3rd down.
That'll be the last time I run. It's 4th down? All slants. Oh, come on. They might blitz right
Flag
here.
guarding. Offense.
Hold on.
Lost it down. 4th down to the 25.
So now it's with the penalty. Again, not understanding the rules completely. Now we get an official's timeout.
What you thinking, boy?
You want a 10-second runoff or you want a timeout?
Who calls that out?
T.O. watching flag football. Just saw Ochocinco get toasted by Aaron Rouse. He can't cover me. Let's take one more look at it. 40-year-old Ochocinco tried the scare tactic.
Yeah, he knew it.
10 seconds from the game clock per game rule.
He knew it. Just a little bit nosy right
4th
there.
down.
Gets the ball up, throw it over his head. T.O. noticed it.
So the Roadrunners take the 10-second runoff.
He coming right there.
4th and 13. They blitz him. Vick to the middle. Passes deflected and intercepted. And they finally get the flag off Duke Iheanacho. Leighton Parros on the pressure. Vick had what he wanted.
It's a beautiful throw by Vick. Kind of fading to his right, drills it to Boykin right on his chest. His defensive backs for Ocho just enough. Getting their hands, the ball tipped up in the air. Right place at the right time.
I mean, Vick puts it on the money to Jared Boykin. And let's face it, this has to be caught. That would have been a 1st down. But it pops up in the air.
Got it. And there's a saying in the NFL, when that ball gets tipped up in the air, usually bad things happen to you as an offensive guy. Iheanacho there for a huge turnover.
Vick put it right on him. That would have been a 1st down for the Roadrunners, and a touchdown would have tied it, and an extra point could have won it. Duke Iheanacho played for the Broncos, Redskins, and was with the Giants last year in camp before being placed on injured reserve with the interception. How about this combination of Johnson to Dixon, quarterback to quarterback?
Yeah, a little bit of quarterback love tonight. Not just throwers, a little bit of athletes. You know what's been interesting to me, Bob, is Clayton Parros is not the football guy. He's been a huge impact for them using his speed against the Roadrunners, and especially Michael Vick.
Ocho to keep you out the game. That was the best. That was a good game plan.
That's unfair. Why would I go offense? That's unfair to you. Come play with us.
You always find the right things to say. You always find the right words to say.
It's unfair to you.
I'm retired, man. I'm retired. I'm done, man.
Right here, yeah. Fast coming up.
Ocho doing a lot of talking considering he doesn't have a catch.
Here we go. Hut. Got past it. Got past it. Let's go. Got past it.
Yeah, this is a ball carrier.
Why you go out of bounds?
Yeah.
You go out of bounds, yeah.
1st down, Ocho.
Right here. Now we got 4 downs. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we wondered when we were watching the teams practicing yesterday, it felt like Team Ocho with Jared Johnson and talking with both him and Dennis Dixon in our production meeting. They had a pretty good concept on how to deal with some of the flag rules, and we've kind of seen that. Even though it's 19-13, they've outplayed the Roadrunners.
Yeah, watching them practice yesterday, much more of a plan. They had the idea of using the 2 quarterbacks and putting them in the backfield. We've seen it on display tonight, and that's why they're going to come away with a really nice win tonight. Here's Ochocinco.
Oh, they didn't get the flag. They're not bad at 40.
Come on. Hey, don't flag out right there, cuz. It's over the clock, though.
Seeing a little bit of suddenness out of Ochocinco here would allowed him to be such a premier player in the NFL for such a long. Oh, that little dead leg right there. Still got it a little bit. Don't get him, T.O. talking, though. I think they can be 1-2 somewhere.
He got called for flag guarding. Again, that is something that these guys have spent their lives swatting away the hand of a defender. You cannot do that in flag football. And we've seen that called, that and defensive holding, meaning slowing a guy down by grabbing his jersey.
That's something that they've got to fix moving forward. To get to that title game, it's going to be I think we're going to have a good contest, a good hard-fought game. You don't want that to come in and be an impactful part near the end.
I'm going to hand to you, Dennis. I got all time. I'm behind you. I'm behind you. I'm behind you. I'm behind you.
Little throwback to Johnson, and he zips one to Fred Jackson.
Hey, go for it. Go for it.
So Team Ocho, gain of 32, will await the winner of tomorrow night's pro semifinal between Godspeed and Holdat. Godspeed is led by Justin Forsett, Seneca Wallace, Jacoby Jones, Jason Avant, James Ahedebo. Holdat has got Kerry Rhodes, who was a Pro Bowler with the Jets. Jimmy Clausen, Carlos Boozer, a couple NBA guys, Nate Robinson.
Ain't gonna be so sore tomorrow.
Let's go play one.
It's going to be a fun game to watch. I think that Godspeed team has got a lot of really impressive athletes that Holdat team is going to have to pay attention to.
Team Ocho.
This is a big play right here.
Me? Yeah. There you go.
Pick on third.
4th and 5.
Oh, yeah, Fred.
Fred Jackson has the first down. They don't get the flag, and he's in for the score.
And you see why Fred Jackson played for such a long time in the NFL, and again, led the NFL in all-purpose yards at one point with 2,500 for a running back. The beautiful hands to stretch out, make a catch. You don't see that a lot out of guys in the NFL. Look at the running back come across. Look, see the hands extension, secure that catch. That looks like a wide receiver right there.
Fred Jackson in his career in the NFL had 354 catches for almost 3,000 yards and 9 receiving touchdowns.
And how about this? He's the 3rd leading rusher in the history of the Bills behind a couple guys named Thurman Thomas and O.J. Simpson. So obviously incredibly accomplished, but I love the way he went and plucked that ball out of the air.
They'll just go for one here as Johnson fires one. And it gets picked off by Nick Collins. Well, there's no 12-point play. Even if you scored a touchdown over 50 yards and you converted 3, it's only worth 10.
A long ball back across the field.
I think we're going to get to see a little bit of a arm strength display right now by Michael Vick. Probably going to get a launch to see if they can get a quick score.
Yeah. Want me to play QB? Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to play receiver. Go ahead. We going in. You know the deal.
Next week here on NFL Network, we'll get the finals for the pros and the finals for the amateurs live on NFL Network. And the winning teams from those 2 games will meet the pros versus the amateurs with $1 million prize on the line for the winning team. And that'll be a touchback. And Michael Vick's Roadrunners will start at the 25, down 25-13.
I got receiver. And I got quarterback.
Michael Vick just tossed his jersey into the stands, and it's the ultimate waving the white flag. He waved the white jersey.
He's still beloved in this community, though. Bob, you had mentioned it pregame that when he was here playing for the Falcons, people would come to watch Michael Vick play, not the Falcons necessarily. He's such a remarkable player.
Yeah, you know, my buddy Shannon Sharp, Hall of Famer who lived here in Atlanta for a long time, he said, you know, people don't say they're going to see the Falcons, they're going to watch Michael Vick. Now that changed once Matt Ryan came in and the team started having sustained success under head coach Mike Smith with Julio Jones, and now it's kind of go watch the Falcons. But for a long time, let's go see Michael Vick play on Sunday.
Rightfully so. I mean, you never knew. He was one of the first guys that you just, at any moment, that ball could go all the way.
You wouldn't give me that go ball. Huh? You wouldn't give me that go ball. That ain't happening. Yeah, when you're 95 yards old. That's 10 seconds. Ready, go.
Michael Griffin playing a little quarterback.
Go, go, go.
Evan Rodriguez with the lateral to Nick Collins.
Let's go, hurry up.
Decline, let it play. No, come on, let's go, let's go. Hurry up. Right. We gotta work there, down the middle, nowhere else. This man on my team. Look, we scored, man. Get that phone.
On the flag, we have a 10-second runoff. That will be game.
God damn.
So 10-second runoff. That's the ball game.
He ain't want no work.
Team Ocho led by Chad Ochocinco
Scoreboard lets you know I ain't have to play offense.
have moved on to Indianapolis. Michael Vick squad, the Roadrunners, defeated.
The scoreboard shows it don't matter.
Let's send it down to Kay Adams.
Brandon Browner making a cameo here. No, they don't. Michael Vick, Chad Ochocinco. Vic, that can't feel good to lose to this guy.
Best of luck to them in the next round. The better team won today.
What happened out there?
Couple of times, I don't make excuses. It's all love and fun and games when we play football. So I thought my guy scored down here at this end. Found out his flag got pulled on the 5. Then there was a penalty on my guy down here. He dove in the end zone. So a couple discrepancies, but listen, that's the way it goes. The ball ain't bounced our way.
You didn't hop in there to play defense. You, however, played mostly defense, which was surprising to me. Why didn't you get out there more on offense?
Well, I think it would have been an unfair advantage for my team for me to play offensively. So I stayed on the defensive side of the ball most of the game. I played fundamental sound football. I jumped one early and I cost us 6 points. But I'm gonna get back, man. Salute to my defense. We had some key defensive stops.
I'm hearing right now that Tio is tweeting how badly you were playing. What's your response to that? Defensively, he's saying.
Which, my Tio? Tio, I love you. Call me.
Love to hear that. You're going to Indy with your team. What can you tell the amateurs what to expect down the road?
You know what? I don't want to tell them anything. They're extremely confident already, and I don't need to add any fuel to the fire.
Michael Vick, this didn't end how you wanted it to, but I got to ask you, what does the future hold for you?
I'm retired.
What does that mean?
I'm going to stick to talking about football and coaching it.
You're telling me you've thrown your last football?
Yeah, I think I've thrown my last pass.
Nobody wants to see that, right? We're going to talk about that after. Guys, let's send it up to you. I think he's in his feelings a little bit, right?
Yeah, well, you never know. Next year, Michael Vick could be back. Just got to put together a better team. Ochocinco got the last laugh. His team moves on to Indianapolis with the victory.
The American Flag Football League, U.S. Open of Football, is brought to you by Bud Light, America's favorite light lager.
Chad Ochocinco signing a couple of autographs. The American Flag Football League postgame show presented by LG as Michael Vick's Roadrunners eliminated, losing by a score of 25-13. Gerard Johnson, 371 yards passing. Michael Vick, 396, 2 touchdowns and the interception. Roadrunners, 1 touchdown in 3 red zone trips. And the defense of Team Ocho coming up big with some stops. Here's tonight's star of the game presented by LG, and it's the quarterback of Team Ocho.
And Gerard Johnson coming down to Hotlanta and having the hot hand, displaying all kinds of throws, a big post down the field, a honey hole to Jeremy Ross in complete control of his game, dissecting the defense. No matter what throw he was asked to make, he made an incredible job of leading his team at the quarterback position tonight.
Team Ocho with a really good plan. Well, we've got more semifinal action for you as Team Ocho enjoys their victory tonight. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern in the amateur bracket, Code Red out of the New York, Connecticut area taking on the money team from Dallas. And then in the pro division, it's Godspeed led by Justin Forsett taking on Holdat led by Nate Robinson. fighting cancer with a big victory here tonight in the amateur bracket. And then Team Ocho coming up victorious for Dan Arlovsky, Kay Adams, Bob Papa saying so long from Atlanta. Team Ocho advances with the win tonight over Michael Vick's Roadrunners.